sending special forces into the region, despite his repeated statements that he does not want to put, quote, boots on the ground in Iraq. Joining me now, Colonel Oliver North. He is host of War Stories and also author of the new book, Counterfeit Lies. Colonel, great to see you. And so the thought, I suppose, is perhaps we'd send some special forces to assist in counterterrorism and training of some of the Iraqi troops. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's too late for that because, one, you don't have a status of forces agreement, which, of course, was the reason why he originally withdrew the forces from Iraq. You know, we had won this war in 2006 and 7 with the awakening in Anbar province. The very thing that we were trying to prevent, which is a sectarian civil war, is now happening because we pulled out too soon, and that was allegedly because of no status of forces agreement. Without a status of forces agreement, you ought not to ever put American troops on the ground in harm's way outside that diplomatic mission, because you need forward air controllers. You need joint tactical air controllers to control munitions being dropped from airplanes like you're showing on the screen right now. And they ought not to do that without a status of force agreement. What they should do, Megan, is start immediately evacuating as many American citizens as they possibly can from Iraq, because you don't want a repeat. You don't want a repeat of Saigon 1975.
You think we need to get the Americans out of there ASAP?
Absolutely. And don't wait for this thing to develop further, because dithering and delay, which this administration is famous for, will get you all kinds of trouble if you had to get people out in a hurry.
Well, what about that? What about that, Ollie? Because on Friday he came out and said, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Yeah. And then today, now it's, what, Wednesday? And now we get more, he's thinking about it. There's still no decision. I mean, late-breaking news tonight, just as we came to air from the Wall Street Journal, was now they may be pushing for al-Maliki to go. But that's the most we've got.
Al-Maliki, let's you and I commit news tonight, whether they know it in Washington or not. I've spent 11 out of 13 Ramadans in that part of the world. Here's what's going to happen. Come June 28th, when Ramadan begins, the battle lines that exist at that point are going to be static, because they're not going to attack unless we've killed a whole bunch of civilians with airstrikes without air controllers on the ground. You see, what this administration has done is created a cascade of catastrophe where they're dithering the delay, going all the way back to December of 2011, when Obama did what the troops call the Obama bug out. And you ought not to put Americans in harm's way outside that diplomatic mission without a status of forces agreement.
So just explain what that means, though, if we get to Ramadan and the fighting doesn't continue. I mean, the instinct to that is, well, that's good, but what is the point you're trying to make?
Yeah, what's going to happen, Megan, is that the battle lines, wherever they are, whether they've tried to overrun, which, by the way, ISIL wants to try to overrun Baghdad before Ramadan, but wherever those battle lines are, that's going to be the stalemate that divides Iraq into a Kurdish state, an Islamic radical Sunni state in the middle, and the Shiites in the south. And that's the reality of what we're getting. Why would we want to start bombing people without air controllers on the ground with the Iraqis? And the reason why we don't want to put them with the Iraqis is we don't have that status of forces agreement, and this administration ought not to do that to American troops. You need to have search and rescue in place. You need to have those kinds of people who know that they can get out if things turn upside down, and they very well could.
Wow. Oliver North, thank you, sir.
Thank you.